First of all, thank you everyone for taking time. And I have not shared the screen, but Ritesh, can you confirm you can hear me? Okay, I see. Jim
I
responded. So
can.
okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you. First of all, thank you for taking time to join today's call. Uh, wish you guys a very happy new year. I hope you all had wonderful holidays. Now, those of you who are joining in for the first time, I just wanted to set the background that we generally have this kind of call every month where we discuss about latest and greatest about Xenett, and we also talk about some of the upcoming new features. We are recording this call webinar. So those of you who were not able to make it, you guys will get the recording so that you guys can know what we have discussed. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to walk you through all the great stuff that we have rolled out in the month of December. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. So the very first feature that we have rolled out is our reporting module, like we call it interactive reporting. So until now, you guys know that like we have primarily been focusing on automating the review process and the close, like expediting the close process. But after that, the last step, which is to send out the financials package to the client, right? For that, either you guys might be using the QuickBooks or Zero's default reporting, or might be using some third-party application to publish or preparing the reporting package. So now, when you go to any particular client's close, you will then see a new module called Publish, which is where you guys can create the financials report package. The way it's going to work is that this is totally customizable for each client level. You guys can add like different kinds of reports. There's a cover page, there's a business snapshot. So the structure of this module is that there are some default reports that we give, and then there are some graphs and some different KPI components that you can build here. So this is one example that we have created where like there's a cover page here. You can have your client logo here, and you can also customize this cover page. There's a business snapshot. Now at this point, this cover page and business snapshot are like a default pages of the report, right? You'll not be able to make, I mean, you'll not be able to remove it from the report. So this is a business snapshot that just gives your clients an overall idea about all the major numbers about the business. Okay. There is a default graphs as well that we have added. And I'll also show you like how exactly you guys can get started with this. But right now, I just want to give some idea as to what this reporting package is all about. So there is a balance sheet, different kinds of balance sheet that you can add, different variants of profit and loss. Also, you can add like comparing with current month, previous period, or actual versus budget, or year to date. So you can also add different KPI cards, different kinds of charts as well. So this is very, very flexible, very, very customizable, and you can basically build it. Once you build it, you can then share with your client like with two ways. One, you can just simply download the PDF, you can email them, or if you guys are also using Xenett's client portal, you can also publish it directly on the client portal as well. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through that process as well, but I'll also take a couple of more minutes just to kind of help you know, like, okay, how to get started with that. So what's going to happen is that when you click on, let's just say setting icon, there is a default template. Let me show you real quick under the reports. There's a monthly financials, and then you can add more template as well. So this is where you guys can actually add some default reports here. Like, hey, so let's just say if your standard financials package has generally, let's just say balance sheet or profit and loss comparing with current month versus previous period. So basically, this is more like a template that you can create. So let me show you how you can get started with this. So this is my monthly financials reporting package. I wanted to add a page, and let's just say I wanted to add a balance sheet here, right? So I'm just gonna type in the name. Okay, once you create the page, it's gonna be a blank canvas where you can add a text box. So let's just say in case if you wanted to type in some notes to explain something about reports, you can also do that. So you can just say, I mean, again, you can just type in any text. Let's just say after that you wanted to add a report. So there, these are all the default reports that Xenett gives you. And then you can pick the report that you like. When you add the report, it's like because we are at the firm level, because it's a template, there is no data as such. So in this case, you can decide like this balance sheet, do you want to compare it with previous period or previous year? Do you want variance column, or do you want your parent account expanded or collapsed? So all of those different options that you can manage it here. Now once you define the template, for the very first time, when you go to any particular client, it will ask you like, which template do you want to use, right? So let's just say you have different industry template. Like for restaurants, you use some template. For hotel clients, you use some template. So for non-profit clients, you have different template. So whenever you go to any particular client, it will ask you which template you want to apply to this particular client. And once you select that particular template, and then you can, so template is just like a base for you to get started. And then once the template is imported here, you can then make whatever changes that you like. Okay, so there are two modes. Like this is a preview mode, there's a preview mode, and there's edit mode. Edit mode is something where you can select a particular page and you can start making changes. Okay, so you can even change the order. Like let's just say you want balance sheet to be here, so you can even drag and drop here. For this particular balance sheet, when you click on it, because we are in edit mode, when you click on any of the component, there's an edit icon here, you click on it, and then you can just also change the setting. Like this balance sheet right now it's compared with previous period, but let's just say you wanted to change it to previous year, you can do that as well. Okay, so in case if you wanted to delete any of the report, just simply click here, click on delete, and then you can delete that report as well. Okay, now let me show you how you guys can also add different kinds of chats here. Okay, so when you click on add page, and let's just say we wanted to, I'm just gonna add some graphs here. So again, when you add a new page, it's gonna be blank. And then in that blank page, you can add either a text box or a divider or a report or any sort of chart or graph, right? Now, let's just say you wanted to add a new bar chart. Once you do that, you can give a name like, let's just say sales for last 6 months, anything like that. Here, you can start adding variables. So let's just say you wanted to compare your different kinds of revenue accounts, right? And then uh, you see by default it's gonna show you the comparison for 6 months. But in case if you wanted to change something for 3 months, you can do that as well. In case if you also wanted to compare with previous period or budget or previous year, you can do that. In case if you wanted to customize the colors, you can do that. So all the different kinds of customization, you can do it here. Even when the charts are added, what you can also do is that you can also play around with the size of the chart as well. So in case if you wanted to add some side by side chart, you can also do that. All right, so it's a one time thing where you can spend some time, build your report, but once that's done, you should be all good, right? Like you then don't need to worry about it like every month. So it's like the moment you're done with your close process, all you simply have to do is that you can go to preview mode, just have a quick look at what your final report looks like, and then you can just kind of simply go through, quickly snap through, and then like Once you think that, okay, this is good to go, all you simply do, click on publish report and then give it to your client, and it will then, so when you click on publish, your client users will start seeing that on their portal as well. Okay. So let me also show you that part. So let's just say when you click on publish, let me show you that how that's going to look like on clients. And so by, let's just say, by the way, not all the client users will be able to see the reports access, like, because sometimes clients may invite their staff or employees, and client would not want them to look at the financials reports. So in that case, you guys can decide which client users you want this access. So there's a column here, it says report access. So only those who have this ticked, checkbox ticked, only those users will be able to see that financials reports on their portal. Okay. So let me show you how that works when the client looks at those reports. The best thing about this is that these are all interactive reports. So it's not like it's like a pulling the information real time from QuickBooks. Okay. So let's just say as a client, oops, database connection lost. Let me see, hopefully. Okay, perfect. It came back. So let's just say I'm looking at this report here. These are all interactive, as in, let's just say I'm looking at this report, right? Typically, when we like, the most common way we share our financials report with client is Excel or PDF. Now at that point, if client has any question on any of the account or anything, they cannot really drill down, right? So in this particular case, while your client is reviewing this report, and if they wanted to, let's just say, pull up something on any of the account like 6241, this will even show them the transactions as well, right? Obviously they will not be able to make any changes as such, but they can drill down to the transaction level detail as well. In fact, one of the feature that we will soon roll out is that if, while reviewing this report, if they have any question on any of the account, they can also initiate the questions from here as well. All right. So that gives you a very a good idea of our reporting module. All right. I'm not sure how many of you have already started using this, but if this is something you think that would, like, you're finding it value, I'm pretty sure, I mean, you guys should give it a try and see how that looks like for your client. All right. And if you need any help setting this template up or setting up those reports for your clients, do reach out to us and we can also help you with that as well. All right. So yes, that was the major feature that we have released in the month of December. All right. The another great one that we side by side were working, it's called flux analysis. The feature is right now in beta, like we are still making some changes with that. Many of you have already started using this, and many of you have, in fact, already started giving us a lot of feedback around it. So that's a great news. But this is something gonna go out of beta somewhere in by end of January. But those of you who don't know about this feature, um, with this feature, um, you can actually create some sort of expectation on any of the account on profit and loss and balance sheet. Okay. So to give you some example here, so not here, but I think I'm gonna take you here. Okay. So in this particular case, so let's just say my insurance expense. Generally, I expect this to be the same every month, which is 2050. Okay. So what I did was I created a prompt. So there's a prompt here, right? Let me show you. This is what I have already set up. It says verify that insurance for current month should be 2050, right? In fact, let me just delete it and show you again how to do that. So, okay, so let's just say for insurance account, my expectation is that this account should always be 2050. So what I do, I just click here and I'm going to say there's a default text already written for me. So I just have to start typing in like verify that insurance for current month should be 205. I just have to type in the normal language. Okay. When it says current month, does not really mean like a January to 2025. This means that whatever close period that you are looking at. So right now we are this is a March closed month, so that's what it's gonna take, right? So I'm just gonna click on save. So just like that, you just pick any account and then you just create the expectation. Like let's just say the good examples could be if you have a rent expense, you could say, hey, anytime okay, not anytime, but you could say, hey, my rent expense should always be $10,000 a month. Or you could even say that, hey, if my advertising expense is more than 10% of my sales total income, then I want to know, like, I want to know as so you can just like type in your expectation in the normal language and it's gonna find it for you. The only thing, the few tips that I would like to share here is that so in this particular case, let's just say I wanted to actually set up like that. Verify that advertising expense for current month should not exceed 5% when compared to. So, okay, if you wanted to compare with, let's just say, total income or any other account, you don't have to type in the account name. Instead, just press this slash key. It will then pull like show you guys a drop down wherein you can select any particular account or let's just say any variable as well. Like you can even say gross profit or net income or total income, like total line as well, right? So you should not type in because this is gonna take this ID and then gonna look for that. So if you just type in like uh for example, let's just say if you type in payroll expenses, right, like that, it may not work. If you are, let's just say if you wanted to compare something with some sort of account, you should just press this slash key, which will then open up the drop down, and from that you select that variable, and then it's going to work. Okay, so that's that. Second thing is that if you have a similar prompt, like let's just say for all of your income account you have a same kind of checkpoints that you want to apply to all the accounts. So instead of doing it for every single account one by one, you can think of using this where copy prompt to other accounts where you could say, hey, I want the same prompt to be applied to all my income account, right? So that way you don't need to set them up for one by one. All right. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that in the back end, we use AI, and that AI has the data for last 24 months. So as long as your prompt has the data validation within that time frame, like 24 months, it's gonna give you the result accordingly. But if you type in like, hey, compare this with 2002 data or 2008 data, it's not gonna work, right? So as long as if your prompt has the data validation for last 24 months, it's gonna work. Second thing, Xenett only has the data for profit and loss and balance sheet like as a whole. It does not know at the transaction level yet. So for example, if you type in something, if your prompt has anything about drilling down at the transaction level, it's not going to give you the accurate result, okay, because it does not have that data yet. We will have it in the future, but right now it does not have it. Okay. The third thing is that, okay, in fact, before doing that, so let's just say you set up all of the different prompts at profit and loss level, balance sheet level. All you then simply have to do, just come here and just press this flux analysis. So what it does for whatever accounts, whether it's a profit and loss or balance sheet, the AI engine gonna run all of your, it's gonna take your prompts and it's gonna start giving you flags. So if your prompt is exactly matching with what you were expecting, then it's gonna show you the green flag. If your prompt is not matching with the your expectation, then it's gonna give you the red flag. So in this case, I can see all of these accounts where I set up the expectation are showing the red flag. When you click on that flag, This tells you that, hey, you were expecting your insurance expense to be 2050. However, so this is a supporting details, right? So it says not verified, but then it also explains why it's not verified. So it says insurance for March is 5494, which is not equal to 2050, right? So that's why it's not verified. Similarly, you were expecting office supplies should not be more than 5% of my total income, correct? Now it says your office supplies for March is this, and it's not kind of meeting with your total income. So that's why it's just not matching. So that way, it's gonna explain you as well, like why a particular uh, thing is not verified. Now, as the engine is learning, let's just say if you faced a problem, we would want you guys to just click here, report an error, because when you do that, we get that data and then we can then train our engine accordingly as well. So in case if you guys notice any error, just do that. And for whatever reason, sometimes it does not give you, let's just say, the data, like accurate data in first instance. And if you want to rerun it, then you have an option to run that as well. Okay. Yeah, so that's flux analysis for you guys. Again, it's in very early stage. We will be rolling out AI at different places in Zenit, but this is just the starting point. So as we get more and more suggestions from you guys, I'm pretty sure this is only gonna go better from here. All right, I'm gonna take a quick pause. Just gonna quickly check chat just in case if there is anything. I don't see. Okay, I don't see. So feel free, guys, in case if you have any questions. Uh, I mean, I can answer that as we are speaking. Okay, perfect. So that was a second great addition that we have done. The third major feature that we rolled out is the transactions audit log. So until now, um, if you let's just say make any changes. Okay, so here is the I would not say problem, but here is what it was happening. So whenever, if you make any changes in Xenett, and it's not just really about Xenett, but any other system, right? So if you make any changes in transactions like outside QuickBooks, and if you then check the audit log for inside QuickBooks, it is gonna show you the name of the user who originally connected that QuickBooks file with that third party app. So whether it's a Xenett or Dext or Bill.com or any of the app, it is always gonna show you the name of the user who made the change, not who made the change, but who connected the QuickBooks with those third party applications. So to avoid that, we have introduced our own transactions audit log. So now, if you make any changes through Xenett, and if you then go to reports and then there's a transactions audit log, you will then be able to see which user made the change. Like, okay, this is the user, this is when the change was done. Okay, what and then all of these are transaction details. Like, okay, this is the date of the transactions, this is the type of transactions, the amount, the number. Now at this point, we are not showing you what exact uh, change have been done, but guys, like the QuickBooks already tracks that. So if you change an account, or if you change the amount, or if you change description or reference number, it's all captured in QuickBooks audit log. So at least what we are telling you that something has changed by this user on this time. And then when you click on this eye icon, that's going to directly take you to the QuickBooks file or zero file on that particular transaction, so that you can quickly see what has been changed. Okay. So yeah, I know some of you guys have requested this. So finally, that's available as well. All right, so that was the third major feature that we made it available. And there's last one that I have it for you guys. Again, it's a small one, small improvement. So let me show you that. So and this is a small improvement with the bulk panel. So it's not a okay. Let me actually. So until now, okay, okay, this is a good example. So you got entries without class, and like until now, when you select any of these transactions, and when you select the class, you were able to assign a class to the transactions, but there was no option to remove the existing class, right? So imagine like a situations where you have plenty of transactions are assigned to one particular class, and for a reason you actually wanted to keep the previously you were only able to reclassify class from no class to a particular class, or a particular class to a different class, right? But there was no option to remove the class from particular transaction. So now again, there was a specific use cases suggested by some of our clients. So just in case, if you guys ever have a need to remove the class that have been wrongly coded, or classes were not even needed, there's a way to now remove it through the bulk panel. Okay, so that was a small improvement that we have done it. All right, so these were the major changes or new features or improvements that we have rolled out in the month of December. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna take a couple of more minutes to quickly talk about what is coming. So one of the major thing that we rolled out is that we are rolling out is that so right now we have two modules, which is to do and then the close. To do is mainly about managing your non-closing task, which could be like your day-to-day routine weekly task, right? So what we are getting towards is more of a like managing a different sort of project. So let's just say the good example could be that let's just say you have a 1099 project that you wanted to manage, and that particular 1099 project has its own task. Okay, similarly you are onboarding a client, and that onboarding client project has its own task, and then you are doing a tax return for your client, and it has got its own task, and then you are migrating one client from one software to another, and then you have its own task. Right now you are managing all of those tasks inside to do, and there is not an easy way to know where things are, because these are all the independent tasks, right? So there is a feature that we are rolling out where you will now be also able to manage the different kinds of, so just like you are able to track the close as a project where there are tasks, there's a progress bar, you can check the status, like you can even have an independent status. Similarly, you will also be able to manage all these different kinds of project as well, where if you, let's just say, quickly wanted to find out the onboarding status for all the different clients on one page, you can know that okay, all these clients, there's a onboarding going on, only five tasks are done, or seven tasks are done, or this project is overdue. So that way you guys will be able to manage more of that sort of projects inside Xenett as well. Because right now it's very difficult, because you end up creating those tasks as an independent to do, and it does not really tell you about the progress. Like there is not any. So for example, let's just say as a firm owner, if I have 20 clients, and if I wanted to find out of those 20 clients, let's just say if I'm onboarding those five clients, there isn't any easy way for me to know where things are with the onboarding, right? So that would then be possible with this new feature launch, which we expect to roll out in somewhere in February. Okay, so that's a big change which is coming. With this change, we are also revamping the client dashboard altogether. So what's going to happen with this is that many of you guys use the client properties, like you can actually add this many fields like client status and industry and entity type and FEI and all of those different kinds of fields, right? So with that, we will also be revamping this dashboard. Instead of dashboard, see, right now dashboard only gives you these three information, but this will be totally be revamped where you can have a client profile and lot more other information as well. Okay, so that these are the immediate changes. There is lot more coming in Q1, but it's little early for me to share or talk about it. But this is like a very immediate ones that are coming. Okay, that like somewhere in end of January or early February, right? So I thought would just share with you guys. All right, so that's all from me. I'm not sure if there are any questions waiting for me in the chat. Doesn't seem like there are any, but the floor is all yours. So in case if you guys have any questions, I'm kind of we can wait for a few minutes. If not, we can call it off. But if there is anything you want to ask, feel free to leave it in the chat. Or any feedback or anything that you would want to share. Does not have to be the question, but if there is anything that you want to share or any of the features that you started using it, liking it, not liking it, whatever. So, all right, guys, I think that's it from me today. Thank you very much for taking time. I hope you guys found this update helpful. You guys can share with your people. We will always, we will anyway be sharing this recording as well. So stay tuned. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. Take care.